Today's guest is somebody I'm sure a lot of you have seen on TV.
We're still going to date afterwards and go that route.
Walk us back to the moment you were standing right there at the altar and you hear her say, "I do."
I was shocked. You're supposed to marry the love of your life. Marriage means communication, not momentum.
Yeah.
Maybe I can see myself not having children.
She was your number one, but watching back, her number one was Connor. Did you know at the time when you're in the pause?
You didn't really get to see the full side of me. No,
Do you think that the feelings that you felt, like in that moment when you were connecting with Emma, were real?
I wasn't always fully myself and fully truthful. She felt it was disrespectful to her current parents.
How long did you guys stay together?
There's things that weren't shown that I'm like, okay, things aren't starting to add up.
Are you dating someone right now?
Am I dating somebody right now?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Brew. I'm Nora and I have my co-host.
Kitty cats. Hello.
Today's guest is somebody I'm sure a lot of you have seen on TV, behind your screen, is someone that we have a lot of questions to ask today. Mike Gibney, thank you so much for joining us from
Welcome,
Love
Mike.
is Blind.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We're so excited to sit down and really dive deep into your experience and journey on the show. So I want to just jump right into it. Walk us back to the moment you were standing right there at the altar, facing Emma, and you hear her say, "I do." What was the first thought that went through your mind?
Yeah, I was shocked. I was a little surprised. And it's just because we had talked 2 days before, because you don't really talk to each other the day before the wedding. But 2 days before, we talked to each other, and it was going to be a no from both of us. We both just felt like our whole situation with children and wanting a family in the future, and the differences in that, it wasn't enough time for her, and it wasn't fair to her to try to get to that point in 6 weeks. So we were just gonna say no. We were still gonna be together. We were still gonna date afterwards and go that route. But then that didn't happen either, because of kind of that shock factor.
Yeah.
Because
I think we all saw the look on your face when she said,
yeah,
"I do."
I mean, for me, it's just like, on the biggest stage, when you're supposed to marry the love of your life and, you're surrounded by your family and friends, trust, honesty, like communication, like those are so important. I just feel like the switch up, well, if she's going to do that there and a super important time, what about 2 weeks later? What about 1 month later, 3 months later? Like, she could switch up on children then. And it's like, well, I said yes, and now I'm in a marriage where she's switching her mind.
Yeah.
So.
And like she said, like, it's such an emotional moment to be up there around family and friends. You're wearing the white dress, you're in the tux. So she probably got caught up in the feelings.
Probably felt pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's fair, right? And that's fair.
Pressure on both ends. I'm sure you felt that pressure too.
Yeah, I stuck with the logical route instead of the emotional. And like the thing for me is, in that moment, marriage means communication, not momentum.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, especially in an experiment like Love is Blind, there's a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Right? It's very fast paced. You're doing everything on a crazy timeline, and there's a lot of momentum. Like, you're learning so much about this person, and you're asking all these hard hitting questions about what you want, what they want. And then you're streamlined to go to the altar to make a decision, like yes or no. And I just feel like it didn't, I don't know. It needs communication.
Yeah. I think like out of the other cast members on the show, the way you stood out is your communication skills and the way you actually was very transparent what you wanted about having kids. You were very honest from the get-go, and you weren't trying to shy away from that. And you reiterated that throughout the episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. What people didn't see, right, because it wasn't aired in the edit, was that, like, so for me, going into the experience of Love is Blind, like, I told myself I want to be open-hearted, open-minded. And, everybody has these deal breakers, and sometimes, a lot of people, it was politics this season. And again, you didn't really see it.
I did watch that, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really air any of that, but it was politics. And for me, I don't look at those things as super deal breakers, because if it's with the right person that like you have such a strong connection with, they can have their views, I can have my views, and we can come together, and that's healthy conversation that we should be having. But for myself with children, I said to Emma, you know, if you are the woman I'm supposed to marry, if you are the woman that I want to be with the rest of my life, like maybe I can see myself not having children. And for her, she did the same exact thing on her end, where in her past relationships, she's never had to think of children. And apparently from what her parents were saying to me, right, she never really thought about children. And then, you know, to meet me, and she's like, okay, hold on. Can I see myself having a family with this guy? And I think it's just hard for the public view to kind of see that and understand, because you don't see everything we go through. But that connection that formed, like we were like, let's tackle this together. You know, let's see if we could do it.
Speaking of connection, let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, it's just crazy to think that you could fall in love with someone just in the pods and not seeing them. Like, how did you feel about that? Like, I want to know. We want to go deep. I want to know, like, how did you feel? Like, do you think it was just, go ahead, just tell us everything.
No. So again, like, it's so hard to explain, because you start off dating 16 women. It's 10 minutes each date, right? Wow. So day one is 16 women, 10 minutes
and
each.
they time each date?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they time each date, and then, you know, you're moving around, and you're talking to the guys back in the headquarters. So after those 16 dates, you need to now put that list down to 8 people for day 2.
Okay.
So that's how it works, and you're constantly dwindling down, right? Your matches. And obviously they're ranking you too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing that's crazy is that, like, every day, you know, we have these little subjects that we can talk about if we choose to. And in our little booklets, you know, they have hard-hitting questions. Like, this day will be family. Another day will be sex.
And those are three questions that the Love is Blind production.
Yeah, they put it in there to help they put it in there to like help generate conversation if we wanted to use it.
Okay.
You know, and some people did, some people didn't.
Okay.
Like for my dates, for example, we didn't always use those questions. You know, maybe we answered a couple of them, but then just pure back and forth, because otherwise it feels like an interview.
Exactly.
You know, and
it was very natural and organic, just to kind of you know, I'm sure like everybody on the show had their own personal things they wanted to get into. And,
exactly. And my whole thing is everybody has a story, right? Everybody that was selected there is there for a reason, right? We're there to potentially meet the love of our lives and hopefully get married, but sometimes that doesn't work out. But everybody has a story, and everybody, you know, comes from somewhere. And for myself, with those hard-hitting questions, it was just amazing, because you're building that strong connection with multiple women, but one kind of always stands out. And for me, it was Emma. Emma was my number one throughout the whole time. So
you mentioned that she was your number one, but watching back, her number one was Connor. And I know you're good friends with Connor right now. How did you feel watching back the show and seeing the way, you know, how emotional she got when he broke off the connection with her? What went through your mind? And did you know at the time when you're in the pause that her connection was Connor, her stronger connection?
Yeah, so at the time I didn't know.
Okay.
At the time in the pods I didn't know who the connections were.
Did you speculate?
No, I can honestly say I didn't really care about what everybody else was doing. Okay. There was a point where Emma and I, once we were with each other, we were like, okay, let's find out who else like is connected. Yeah. And then we were able to do that in the pods. Okay. But when I was watching that back, I didn't know that it was that strong of a connection. And Emma did tell me, so I won't want there to be any like surprises. She did tell me that she had a connection with Connor in the pods. And I did know that they used to obviously date each other and all that stuff. And it was significant.
She told you after the fact? Like after,
in Cabo.
Yeah.
In Cabo. So I didn't think anything of it, but then obviously watching it back, and I'm like, oh, hold on. Yeah. I was number 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, again,
did that make you feel like in any way, like, oh my gosh, like, did it doubt your connection with her or did you just like not, did you kind of brush it off?
I mean, I think everything happened the way it happened, right? It was supposed to happen. So I don't, looking at it now, makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, I just feel like I'm not going to fault her or anybody, because you are dating so many people.
Yeah.
And you are building these other connections that, like, it's impossible not to feel certain things with other people. You know what I mean? If she thought that it was going to be Connor, she thought it was going to be Connor. It wasn't. But now she's got this strong connection in myself too, and it's different.
And maybe it's giving her more space to think about that connection.
The biggest thing for us, and the thing that Emma has said a bunch, was that, like, kind of I was the stability for her. Like, I was kind of her rock. Like, I grounded her. And I think that, I mean, it's an awesome compliment. I appreciate that. And I think that just shows right there where it's like, okay, maybe it was different with Connor. She didn't feel that. She felt maybe something else with Connor.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was kind of more stable, grounded option. So
yeah, and helped her. You actually kind of helped her come out of that funk too. The way you communicated with her, and I think I wouldn't say most men, but I think anyone who would have been in your shoes would have maybe gotten a little taken aback that you would have been this when you found out, like, she is upset, like, she's sitting there across the wall, she's upset about a connection that was broken. I think any other guy would have just ended it right there and walked out.
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know. I just feel.
I think you let your ego set aside and you let her feel her emotions, and you gave her the opportunity to feel what she wanted to feel, and which was completely valid.
Yeah, I mean, so again, like, we're going through such a vulnerable time, and like, it's such an emotional roller coaster, and you know, sharing that with me, I'm sure wasn't easy, right? So I wanted to give her her space to speak freely and not feel judged, right? And just feel heard. And that's all that I was doing. And I was hoping that, obviously, although not ideal hearing that, I was hoping that she would eventually come to the conclusion where it's like, okay, this guy is, you know, being respectful and like kind of opening up her eyes more to me. All right. But yeah, again, the connections that we make are so pure because you're not seeing that person, and it's just based off of communication and like being genuine with one another. So,
which I feel like communication is number one, you know?
Yeah, no, it really is.
And,
so
you're slowly peeling the layers like an onion. So how many hours total do you think you spent on, well, at least with Emma? Because we don't see everything.
In the pods?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, put it this way. The last date day is 5 hours long.
Oh, my God.
So, like, I did yoga in the pods with her. You didn't get to see that.
Oh, wow.
I should have. I was limber, you know?
Do you feel like you're a little upset that they didn't show certain edits that you feel like they should have been shown? Can you share about those moments?
Yeah, I am a little upset. I mean, again, they have their edits. But for me, I just felt like you didn't really get to see the full side of me. Excuse me.
In terms of what?
I'm a funny guy. Like I said, like in the one video, I was like, I'm a bit of a jokester, you know? So I just feel like
that was not shown.
I just feel like it wasn't really shown yet. It was just so serious and like family oriented, which is I am very family oriented and serious, but at the same time, I like to joke around.
Yeah, and I think it's fair that I think the production crew know exactly what they're doing. They like to paint a picture for, like, give everybody a character, but I still thought like, you were fun. I mean, especially around the guys when you guys in Cabo. Just, I don't know, I think it was great to watch your journey with Emma. I think you guys were like my topic from the beginning, I have to say. And this is why it's really great to have you here today, because we wanted to hear your side of the story, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that were missed from the actual show on TV. But like I have to say, like, you would agree too, like your genuine connection and like authenticity was really shown through the screen, more than I think the other guys on the show.
Yeah. Well,
and nothing against the other guys, but sometimes I feel like when some of the other men that talked on the show, it was just kind of like flaky and like, I'm not gonna say names. I mean, I could, but like Alex.
I mean, say it. Who cares? It's unfiltered.
Almost
what are you doing?
Like, for example, like you watch the show back now and you saw certain with Alex or Chris.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Oh man. Yeah, no. So just for me.
Yeah.
All right. there's some things kind of like you can watch what you say or how you say things. I just feel like, yes, there's edits that are done. I get that. But also you're the one saying like these things. Yeah. You know, you're putting it out there for
verbatim.
them to even for them to even edit, right? Yeah. So I just feel like respect goes a long way. And I think it's very clear that some of these guys didn't do that or think that way. You know, and again, I'm friendly with everybody except for Chris.
Yeah.
All the guys.
So you got to meet all these guys at the show. Like you didn't know any of them before.
No. I mean, I came over from New Jersey. I'm fresh to Ohio.
Yeah.
I was only here for 3 or 4 months, and then they kind of recruited me for the show. So I was brand new, and that's the thing. Like, I always said something was calling me here to Ohio. I don't know what it was, because Cleveland wasn't even on my radar.
Right.
You were listening to intuition.
Yeah, it wasn't even on my radar. And then all of a sudden I had this crazy work opportunity, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go manage my own location. And then, oh my God, Love is Blind, like a television show. Like,
have you seen Love is Blind before going on the show? So you were familiar with like the concept?
Yeah, very familiar with the concept. And, you know, I was like, okay, hold on. What if what's calling me is my wife? Like the person I'm supposed to be with. Yeah. So now I know, obviously that's not what called me, but the friendships I've made throughout that, and the more I've learned about myself and what I want in my person and my future has been amazing.
Speaking of like getting on the show, and we met your family on the show, a very traditional, which I can relate to, she can relate to. We both come from very culture traditional backgrounds, Middle Eastern, Croatian. Our parents know what they want for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And watching that, honestly, I really resonated with what you were going through with your family, and I have to give you props for being able to sit there with Emma and take that all in, because I completely understand. I actually got emotional when your mom and dad, at the end of that conversation, when they first met Emma, they said that they would support you regardless of your decision. And that's something I think a lot of people like us, where we come from, really struggle to, like, it's hard for us to feel that way, like, from our parents, because usually they know what they want for us. And
right.
I mean, you have certain expectations you have to meet.
Yeah.
Being raised in a authentic and foreign family, you know, it's not like
absolutely.
they just have certain things, you know, especially like Italians and.
They're very outspoken. I think all like from what you're saying, we've just got outspoken family members, and that's fine.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I mean, like you're saying, they know what they want for us. They want the best for us. Obviously, they love us. I think with my family, it took me by shock too. I'm going to be honest. You know,
which part exactly?
Just how open they were and honest about that experience with me. Because you got to understand, I grew up, you know, in my household, and again, very unfiltered opinions were coming all the time. Who I date, you know, what I do in my life, my job, my career, this, that, whatever, right? School, sports.
Everything.
They were
heard
on
it from all angles.
They were on you, yeah.
Heard it from all angles, and I know it comes from a place of love now more than ever, right? Obviously,
what did they even think
younger.
about you going on the show? Were they like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. So that's exactly it. Like, you know, when you're telling traditional Italian parents, "Hey, I am going on this show where I may get married in 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks," they're like, "No, you're not. What are you talking about?" So to actually do it and then just kind of see how supportive they were, because, you know, I did make a great connection and I did explain that to them. And then
were they familiar of the concept before going
no,
on?
they never
They
seen.
were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and they never seen the show before. So you know, but to hear them say those words, right, where it's like, we support you no matter what, as long as you're happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's it's nice to hear that, because again, growing up, maybe I didn't always hear
right,
that.
Exactly. And that's why I
can't imagine telling my mom, "Hey mom, I'm going on a show.
God.
I'm gonna fall in love," and I can't even think of that for myself. I'm like, it's just weird. I mean, the whole experience is wild to me.
Yeah. No,
Do you think that the feelings that you felt, like, in that moment when you were connecting with Emma, were real, or do you think it's real?
Oh yeah, it's real.
Or do you think it's just more of
No, it's real.
An experience.
It's 100% real. I do think the connection's real. I think what you feel is real. I mean, there's people that are still together, right? There's people married.
Yeah.
There's people that are dating. You know, everybody always says like, there's a lot of people saying right now, it's like, oh, only like if you do the numbers, there's only like 4% of people that got married. That's still 4%.
Right.
People are still getting married. You know,
Yeah.
you look at all these other like dating shows and stuff. You know, how long do they stay together for? You know what I mean? And again, it's a show, but at the same time, it's for marriage. It's for love. And I think that everybody, it sucks because I think that everybody should go through an experience like the pods, because to be able to date blindly and just based off of communication and hearing somebody's voice, and you almost pick up like different social cues, right? Where it's like if I'm sitting here in front of you and we're on a date, and if I say something you don't like, I can see that you don't like that, so maybe I'll change course, I'll change subject, and it's almost like it's like you can be faker, right? But now if we're communicating with each other,
Forced to talk.
you're forced to talk, and now you like,
Which I feel like a lot of people struggle and lack these days because
Everyone's on their
communication communication is probably the biggest killer in relationships these days.
Yeah.
To me, at least in my own personal opinion.
it's all based on physical attraction, like even the phone, right? You have these apps, and yes, you have like the little like comments that you can
the
do,
prompts.
right?
Yeah,
The prompts, but realistically
You're still
speaking,
basing your swipe on whether you find that person attractive, 100%.
yeah. So and then I mean, it's even in the real world, right? Even like you could be out at a supermarket, bump into somebody, it's like, oh, they're attractive, right? And then start a conversation. But the main thing is always that physical right away.
Yeah.
I think it's important to kind of see that communication right away. And, you know, obviously physical does matter, right? Yes, the whole point of Love is Blind is to take that out of it, but it's not fully, because even Nick Lachey says, you know, now it's time to see if the emotional meets the physical, or the physical meets the emotional, right? So you're seeing. But yeah, I mean, to be emotional first and to have that communication, I think it really,
So do you think that we're talking physical, emotional now? So like, do you think you obviously you connected with her emotionally?
Yeah.
So did being physical change that?
No,
Or did it
the physical was
enhance
good.
it, or did it make it better?
Yeah, the physical was good. It made it better. I mean, so that time in Cabo was great, because Emma and I both we both talked to one another, obviously, and we were like, hey, let's enjoy our time here in Cabo. Like,
Be present.
That was exactly what we said. Like, let's be in the moment. Let's be present. Like,
Not worry about the cameras, not worry about anything.
Yeah, we just talked about so much, right? And
See, at that point, you guys already knew so much about each other.
Yeah.
Like beyond what we saw on TV. Also.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, because again, they don't show everything, so we know almost everything about each other at that point, and we wanted to be in the moment and enjoy that little vacation, like physically be with each other, and then we go on dates. So they showed like the bike riding.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
that was sick, by the way.
Yeah, the zip line, that was crazy. I was a little bit scared, and I'm usually good with things like that, but I was like, because you can feel the bike like teetering, but you're not going to go anywhere. You're harnessed up and you're good. But it was a lot of fun. But even those like little dates like that, you talk afterwards, and you have communication. But to experience being with them for moments like that, where it's like it's joy, and you're seeing laughter and you're seeing those things now, it's crazy compared to the emotional.
Yeah.
Like, it's enhanced.
Yeah, I was just about probably enhanced experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like even now, if you go on a first date after meeting someone, it could get a little awkward the first.
I mean, it can, yeah.
Well,
Well,
you don't know what to talk about.
Depends, because there's days that, like, for me, example, I went on a date. I mean, when I go on a date, I haven't gone on one in a long time. I've given up on that. But
We need to go on Love is Blind. Can we talk to the producers?
We should. Go get on there.
But it's weird. Like, either you have a connection with someone, or you just, to me, at least personally, like, if you sit down with someone,
You
either
either
we have
feel
like that
instantly-
chemistry, or it's just like awkward and weird, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to like go soon. You know? I don't know. It's just, maybe it's just me, and maybe something's wrong with me.
We
I
need
don't
to get
know.
you on one of those dating shows. On Cat Takes Love Island or.
Oh God. I thought about Love Island.
That's insane. That is a wild reality TV show. I mean,
that's. I mean,
Did
you want to talk about the physical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's all physical.
And it's all like shown like on camera. I mean, it's a little too much, but hey, whatever suits your bones.
Right. No. Did you? I'm just like thinking this whole experience. Did you ever? Were you fully open? Like, were you scared to be vulnerable? Were you emotionally held back at all, or was it like, did it scare you? Like, how did you feel about that?
So I told myself going in, right, I want to be open-hearted, open-minded. And in the past, I wasn't always fully myself and fully truthful and honest about everything in my past, right? And in this experience, I was. And I was just fully unfiltered myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because I said to myself, if this is going to be my wife or somebody that I marry, they need to know me.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything about me and who I am.
You have to
and
put everything out on the table.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, then we're not supposed to be together, and that's it. If you do, then amazing. So that's kind of how I went in thinking. And I mean, when you do that, it is difficult to be... It's easier to be vulnerable, but it's difficult because you have other people like that are always saying not to be that vulnerable, right? So like, again, growing up in my family, I'm a man. You got it's tough love.
Yeah,
it's
tough
and I've
love,
said that in the pods,
Yeah.
and they didn't show it, but I grew up with tough love, a lot of tough love, through my mother, my father, and
So did you and I, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it's to be that vulnerable is different. It was different, and I didn't feel weird though because everyone was doing that, right? Or supposed to be. Yeah. And it's almost like you're being accepted for doing that. And again, being that open and that vulnerable has taught me so much about myself to where now in my everyday life, I'll talk about my feelings, no problem. You know, I have no issues. You want the whole truth and nothing but the truth, you got it. Like this is me.
What was the first conversation you had with your mom or dad after they saw the show?
So after they actually watched like the edit and everything like that, so the first 6 episodes, they were like, they were proud of me. My mom was really proud. She's like, oh my God, like, you know, you look so good, you sound so good, you speak well, and I'm like, thank you, you know, I appreciate that. So I think that they were just proud that I did it. Again, they were behind the scenes, right? So they already filmed. They know the longer version. Like what you guys saw with Emma meeting them, it was very short.
Right.
Like that was very short compared to, we were there for like hours.
Yeah.
And then my family, so me, my sister, my brother, and my brother-in-law, and then Emma and I, we all went to a bar like that night and hung out. So they got to meet her more. And then my parents took the both of us to dinner. We went to Cento. Or Cento, however you say it, in
Columbus?
Yeah, in Columbus. And we had, you know, an amazing dinner, and they got to meet her more too. So
yeah, we only got to see the actual meetup, and then
Yeah.
I have to bring this up
always
only because
clip.
it's funny. Like when your mom brought up the sauce or gravy. Can we settle this debate? Can you explain the difference? Because I'm a little confused.
Yeah. So all right, I call it sauce myself.
Okay.
Okay. But my mother grew up like in Hudson County. It's Jersey City. She grew up calling it like gravy, which I actually have a picture on my phone. There is in Jersey there is Italian gravy, and then underneath it says sauce.
That's
So I could actually
God,
I
that's
could
so
show you a
weird.
picture.
That's
But
hilarious.
yeah.
I
So
think
To
there
me,
were-
it's so weird. Like,
there were a lot
I couldn't
of
even think of that.
really mean people like coming for your mom online, and I'm like, guys, it's not that deep.
no, it's really not that deep. Again, it's just where she grew up and how
Right.
she learned to say it.
Hey, your mom's she's a strong woman. She knows what she wants.
Yeah, she's a no bullshit type person. But again, that's how my whole family is. You know, they'll give you
I know.
their opinion, and they don't
Yeah.
give a shit what you think.
Right.
So I mean, she's got the biggest heart though, and I think you do see that.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least people should see
No,
that.
I definitely like I said earlier, I got emotional watching her speak, especially towards the end when she went up to Emma during the day of the wedding. That to me just says a lot about her character. So.
Yeah, and that's
Shout
why
out
like
to Mama.
yeah, and that's why she took it. I mean, she took it tough because she didn't want that blind side to happen. And she cried over it. I don't know if they actually captured that, but she did. She cried over it, and she called me up, and she was upset. And Emma knew she was upset. And then when we all went out afterwards, so let's backtrack a little. Emma's family, her parents wanted to know what we were going to say before it happened.
Okay.
So probably about 6 days before the wedding, we drove down to Cuyahoga, where her parents live, and we had quiche, we had breakfast, her dad made, and we talked and let them know it's going to be a no from us for marriage, but we're going to stay together.
So you knew what the answer was before you got on the altar.
Yeah. Well, that was the idea, is that we were going to say no. And again, it's going back to what I was saying. It was just not enough timeline, all this stuff, right? And we're going to tackle it together afterwards. So her parents got a bar for us. I forget which bar it was, but they got a bar. They rented out a bar in Columbus that all of her family and friends and my family and friends were going to go to afterwards, because we're still going to be together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we did that. And she actually came up to my mom afterwards.
So you guys, after the wedding, you guys went to the bar. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody went. Now, at the time, it was tough because of what happened, right? My friends are like, why'd you do that? Like, because some of them were just meeting her for the first time, too, through that. And they're like, oh, we don't want to, like, let's not go. Like, why would you want to go? Like, it's disrespectful. And I'm like, guys, let's show some grace here.
Yeah.
I will have a conversation of what happened with her, alone.
Yeah.
not
right. Not with
I don't
everyone's
need,
opinion.
I don't. Again, when you talk about unfiltered opinions, everybody's got one, right?
So a majority of people knew what the answers were going to be at the altar, like your friends.
Yeah, my close friend, my close
know?
friends and my parents. Yeah.
Oh, they knew. Okay.
Yeah, because I told her, if we're telling your parents, I'm just going to tell my parents.
Okay.
So that was what we did. And yeah, so we went to the bar after, and she actually came up to my mom and she apologized, and she said, "I'm sorry, I blindsided Mike."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, my mom said, thank you. Like, she's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why. And she's like, I was just very emotional. It was a very emotional time. So.
Do you think that she might have thought you might say yes?
So based on what she was saying, is kind of like that was her declaration
That she
to children.
Yeah.
Again, that's not communicating to me. I'm not supposed to read your mind and know that, right? Like, I feel like if that was true, like fully true, you just say that to me up there. Just say, I want children with you in the future. And it's a yes, I'm in, right? Yeah. Especially how we went through everything.
Especially when you've been so communicative about what
and
you
reassuring,
want.
And that's the biggest thing why I was so upset, is because the communication was amazing.
Yeah.
Between both of us the whole time. So to have that happen, it truly just took me back, like blindsided me.
Caught you
right?
off
Caught me off guard.
You could see the look on your face, like you were shocked.
Because we were finished. Yeah. That was the last day. That's the last day of filming. That's it. After that. Yeah. And it was the last time and the moment. So for me, I'm just like, okay, like we already know where we're going with this. Like we're gonna say no. We're still gonna be with each other and try to make it work. Because what they don't really touch on is logistics for us. So I'm in Cleveland. She's in Columbus. I just moved here for work. I can't go down to Columbus because of my job.
Right.
And with her, with Emma, she was getting possibly a promotion. She was trying to push for a promotion. If she didn't get it, then that was going to open her up to possibly come to Cleveland. Okay. And she was down for that. Yeah. Whereas if she did get it, she's got to stay in Columbus. So we were still waiting to hear on that too.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
Which is a big, obviously. So there, it wasn't just the children.
There's a lot of factors.
There was another, that was it too. Yeah. However, the distance, 2 hours apart, it's not terrible. There's people that have relationships all over the world, right? So 2 hours apart isn't terrible. So we felt like we could tackle that pretty smoothly based on the communication we've already had with one another. The kids was the tougher one. Yeah. So. Which
I can understand.
Yeah.
Why? You don't want to go into a marriage or go get married, say yes to somebody unless you're 100% sure you're going to.
Your values
you're going to want kids.
And that's the thing. Like, so for me, when I,
you don't want potential. You want like real, like, hey, I know I want kids, and that's just maybe not now, but like in a year.
Yeah. When I say marriage, right, and I say yes, I do, I don't plan on divorcing. I know people don't plan on getting divorced, obviously, when they get married. Yeah. But like, I'm not going to start a marriage
Knowing the responsibility,
knowing you're not
Yeah.
fully in on
Yeah.
having a family with me, right?
You want to be on the same page.
And then those values, again, going back to the pods, because there's people that have been saying, well, why? Like it should have ended in the pods. Like, yeah, it could have ended in the pods. It very well could have. But I was being open. She was being open, and we wanted to continue the journey with one another to see, because again, it is an experiment.
Experience.
Right?
Yeah.
Experiment.
And it's like what we go through in Cabo, what we go through in Columbus, living together and all that stuff. Like, they do the show does a good job of like making sure you're having questions answered.
Yeah.
So, for us to just completely give up after building this nice connection with each other, it didn't make any sense. Like we want to move forward. We love each other. Let's move forward and see how we can navigate.
Develops,
Yeah. Do you think at one point, like, she was your person and you were her person?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like I had her number one the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. I think there's one time where she went to 2, but then went right back up to 1. Like it's crazy how it works. And it's kind of just from day one, I knew like the connection, the banter, like everything was great with this person.
Yeah.
And I just felt something.
Yeah, and I think everybody watching saw that connection too. But like, so you guys, how long did you guys stay together after?
Like a week and a half.
Really?
Yeah. So essentially, this is what happened. So after the
'Cause
wedding,
I don't think you guys covered that in the reunion, like how long you guys stayed together.
No, I don't think we covered it either. Again, the reunion was edited too. There's a little bit more that you didn't see.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a little bit more
They
between
always
us.
cut
but-
everything.
Oh, I didn't think that they do that with the reunion too.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the timeline with children. Like
Okay.
Emma and I both agreed that once we were married, within 2 to 5 years
Yeah.
is when the timeline was.
Yeah.
Obviously, it makes it look like I need children yesterday, and
Well,
that was covered.
Yeah.
But they didn't show it because that was.
Right. I
the
think
edit.
just people can be really brutal online too. I didn't see it that way. I think it's fair. Like, who wouldn't want to have a family when they're married, right? I mean there are people out there who wouldn't, but
To each his own.
Yeah, to each their own. Exactly.
fine.
Yeah, to
But
each their own.
for me, I just wanted to know that was going to be in my future, right?
Possibility, yeah.
And again, the timeline that I had given Emma, she knew about it. It's not like it was like, oh, I want to put a baby in you right away, right?
Right.
It's like, no, we're going to travel, we're going to figure things out with each other, like.
And then when the timing is right, then
We're gonna
we'll
have
it.
exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, I just think that for us at the reunion, covering different topics and going over everything, again, I have nothing but respect for her, and we're still friendly, but I just think that it should have ended differently. And going back to the timeline that you were saying, it was a week and a half after the wedding. We went to the bar, hung out. I said, I want to talk to you tomorrow. Obviously, not when we're drunk
obviously.
or drinking or anything like that, right? So met up with her the next day, spoke with her, and I kind of was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like where did we, where did I get misled here, kind of? Because I said to her, I was like, you could have told me. I said, all I needed was communication. If that's how you were feeling, because she's like, I got caught up in the emotion. Like going into that day, I was 50-50. I said, okay. I said, so this is the first I'm hearing about it, because 2 days before you
said
were
no.
100%. So I was like, my mom and sister went up to see you. And then my mom came over to me. And I was like, you could have wrote a note.
Yeah.
Have her give it to me. You could have wrote a note and gave it to production. They would have given it to me. Like you could
So
have
you guys
just
weren't
to let
able
me
to
know.
text or anything, right?
No, they take
They take your phones and stuff?
Yeah. But I was like, there's still a way to tell me, hey, I'm
Right.
kind of, I don't know.
Leaning towards maybe a yes.
Yeah. And again, like they tell you, wait till you get up to the altar to make a decision. And like at the reunion, like Vanessa was saying,
Yeah, she said.
where she's like, oh, like, you're supposed to, this is why we say to wait. How am I going to go up to the altar and wait on a yes or
Right.
no with
Yeah.
children?
Right.
Yeah,
and
that
like,
makes
the
no
biggest decision
sense.
of your
Yeah,
life.
that's crazy.
Nobody just makes
No
a
one
decision on a
knows.
whim like that.
And that's why I think,
Yeah.
Again, they didn't,
I think if I was emotional with every relationship I've had, I'd be married 3 times and divorced.
Yeah.
thank you. And that we'll to go off of that, to go off of that, like that's the thing. Like if I stood up there on emotion,
Yeah.
You know, that's just not being smart. I don't know.
It's not being
I'm sorry.
logical. You have to like actually think.
Yeah. You can
Do you have
almost.
any regrets?
No, I have no regrets.
No?
No. I truly gave the experience a full go from my end.
What did you learn about yourself?
I learned how
through the
to
experience?
I learned how to better communicate. I learned what I want in a future partner, right? More. And so little cues to look
Yeah.
for. That means somebody might jump ship or may not be fully in, right? Because like with Emma again, she wasn't fully on children, and we were giving it a go, but there's things that weren't shown that I'm like, okay, things aren't starting to add up, right? Like her parents saying she's a 2 out of 10 for children. Like her mom, when we met, her mom was like, oh, she's a 2 out of 10 for kids, you know? And her telling me that she was unsure, but like 50-50 in the pods.
Yeah.
So it's like little things add up for that. And then we actually had a glass blowing date in Columbus. That was my date for her. So how it works is like she picks a date, I pick a date, and then we do like a big one.
Okay.
And
So they only showed when you guys went to the barn, that was the big one in Columbus, right?
the barn.
Or like the farm, giraffes.
Oh, the Columbus Zoo. The Columbus Zoo.
Zoo.
I was like, when did I go to a farm?
Farm.
It's like I was wearing a flannel, but
Zora.
it's like I was wearing a flannel, but I don't, you know,
Same
get me on the tractor. No, so no, we went to the Columbus Zoo. That was
Okay.
the big date. That was like the
Okay.
extravagant date.
Okay.
But they didn't show the other ones. We went to Antiques on High.
Okay.
You know, and went to Antiques on High, and we actually had like a card reading there,
Okay.
like a tarot card reading, and we had a date up there. That was her
Ooh,
date.
I know all about those.
Yeah, my date was glass blowing.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was something really cool because
Yeah.
I've always watched like on Netflix like the glass blowing shows.
you've never actually done
I've never
it.
actually done it. So we learned how to do it, and we had a conversation there. That again, it's not
It's not
shown.
shown, yeah.
But like we have a conversation, and you know, she touches in on like just not knowing her parents and not knowing her her genes,
Yeah, yeah,
right, and her
yeah,
upbringing like that, of what she would be bringing into this world with the child.
Yeah.
And we had a really good conversation on that, but you see in that conversation more so that she doesn't really want to have children because
Yeah.
of these reasons. It's all valid reasons.
very valid, yeah.
But like you see a little bit more of like, okay,
Yeah.
are we ever going to get there?
Yeah.
Because like she does have valid concerns. These are them, and I give her options. It's like, well, maybe track. What if you would track down your parents?
Yeah.
Like that's an option. What if you go to gene testing, right?
Right.
I mean, there's so many options that she could do. Yeah.
And for her, she didn't want to go and track down her parents because she felt it was disrespectful to her current parents because those are her parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get that. And again, everybody is entitled to doing whatever they want. Like I'm not in that situation. I will never know what
Right,
it's
you'll
like to
never
be that.
understand.
Yeah, yeah.
So if that's what she wants and that's what she chooses, then fine. But like, it just seemed like everything that we were talking about, it was always like, no. So
Yeah.
again, you kind of learn. And
The puzzles, and
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, I'm glad that you listened to your intuition. And
I think so. I think I learned like to pick up more on those
little
little
clues that
with
kind of
people.
come, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's very smart.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, fast forward, I think.
Are you dating someone right now?
Am I dating somebody right now? Now, yes, I am dating somebody. My beautiful, lovely girlfriend, Tara.
I think we got a glimpse of her during the reunion, and we have a little surprise. She's here with us today.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Tara, for
it.
joining. Of course. So now we're gonna shift the focus to you because we want to get to know about how long after filming did you guys meet?
I wish we met in a more romantic way, honestly. I followed him forever. Like, I think like months prior to that. So I was actually messaging on Instagram through like mutual friends. And then I think I ended up posting like some kind of office meme or something ridiculous, and he slid in the DMs, and then we started chatting, and
Okay, Mike.
yep, he slid in the DMs, which
Slide
again,
in
like,
them DMs.
yeah, right in the DMs. And I just feel like, I mean, that's modern dating now, right? Like if it's not the
Yes.
apps, it's social media in
Social media.
some way or through mutuals. But I think that was July, and then we ended up like shortly after getting dinner, and the rest was history from there.
Yeah.
So that was
And this
what?
was
How
after
many
the
months?
show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
So
How
you
many-
didn't know him before the show?
No.
No.
We just he came up like on my suggested, and I never do this, but I'm like, oh, he's kind of cute. Followed him, and then
Go after it, girl.
yeah, shoot my shot.
How long did it take for Mike to confess that he was on the Love Is Blind show?
The first date,
The
I
first
think,
date.
Yeah,
which I
so-
thought was very
Did you ever
bold.
watch the show? or
Yeah,
no?
I've seen like a season or two, but I don't watch it like religiously.
Right,
but
yeah.
he the very first or second day, I think the first.
Yeah, no, it was the first date,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
Very
It
transparent.
wasn't in a gloating manner or
No.
anything like that. I was very upfront because, so for me, I wanted to see how the date was going. Obviously, it went very well, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if this is somebody
What'd
that
you
I
guys
want to
do
see
for your
again,
first date?
We went to Sarita's.
yeah, I went to Cerritos.
We like closed the restaurant down, just talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. And I just feel
It was
like
so nice.
I just feel like if this is going to be somebody that I can potentially see myself with, and the date went well, right? Like
Yeah,
you kind of
yeah,
you get a feeling, like
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
saying, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you get a feeling, and I was like, all right, I just want to be honest and let her know that I just went through this and like I was on this show and all this just happened because again, I maybe wouldn't have done that in the past, but
Yeah.
just coming off of the show and learning so much about myself and the change and how I
Yeah.
want to be, I'm like, let me throw it out there. And if she leaves, she leaves. If she stays, she stays.
He's like such a good
Yes.
example of how every guy should be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen up, guys.
I do
Listen.
like yeah, I should be thanking this show. I just feel like it made you more open, honest, and like that's why he was so transparent, which took me by surprise on the first date. So I really did have to like take a minute and be like, do I want to be involved with someone that's gonna be on my TV screen
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
X amount of months?
Did
So
you guys take a step back after the first date to kind of let that sink for
Like
a moment?
recoup. and-
yeah, I think we actually made plans to have our second date on the first date. So like did I step back? I definitely like in my head was a little guarded and trying to think of like the repercussions. It's so hard to even like imagine that scenario though and like how it's going to play out. So I did like in my own way, but I don't think he could tell that I think we kept pretty good like consistent communication after the first date.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you don't like. I didn't know what the edit was going to be.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
at that point, and you just. I knew that I went all the way, so obviously I'm going to be on
Yeah.
the show. But you just don't
And you
know
knew
how
he
it's going
went
to
all
come
the
off.
way.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
told me. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
honest. I said
Yeah.
I was engaged,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and this is what happened. And
Yeah.
again, I just no secrets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And where in the past, back when I was younger, my younger self, like I made a lot of mistakes and I was very immature. And
We all do. I mean,
yeah,
you're
I-
human. You're allowed to make mistakes.
and I think just there's a lot of growth, and there's a lot of growth that happened coming over to Cleveland and getting out of my little town of Woodridge, New Jersey, where everybody knows everybody, and I had the same friends since I was 3 and 5 years old. Like
Yeah.
you're now getting to be yourself, and it's like I kind of found out who Mike was. Right, where like when you're with your family, who's very opinionated, and they know you from when you were born, like
Oh, yeah.
they perceive you this way.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, no, I like to do this. I like to do this. Like, and same thing with friends too, right? They only see you one way.
Yeah.
And now coming over here, I learned so much, and I found out who I am, and I'm like, let me share this with somebody super special that I want to share with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been together?
So July, what does that take us? Like 8 months, 9 months now, or
Yeah,
because we were
7, 5,
we were
8
just
months.
seeing each other for like a while, and again trying to like process. You know how it is. You're like, oh, the talking phase, and
Yeah.
then we made it official in November. Like it wasn't. It hasn't been like officially, but we were only seeing one another from what it sounds
Correct.
like once we were reflecting. So yeah, like 8 months, 9 months now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Yeah, but
take us back to when the show dropped. Mm-hmm. Did you sit with Mike to watch the show, or did you sit at home by yourself? Did you have a watch party with your friends?
oh no, I
you watch
refuse
the
to have
whole
the watch
thing?
party. No. I was so nervous. I don't think I slept very well that night. Like I was nervous for him mostly, like not for myself. Like I obviously knew like he's a great guy, respectful, carries himself really well. So I didn't have any doubt that he would be the same on the show. But you know, like never know with editing.
Yeah.
I think it got released at like 3 a.m. the first episode.
Yeah.
I woke up at 3 a.m. trying to put it on. I'm like an insomniac anyway. my Netflix wasn't working. Nothing was working. I'm like, great. I'll just go back to sleep, whatever.
It's a sign.
Did not watch it with him. I woke up right at 5 a.m. for work, watched like what I needed to with like just trying to skip through. And it was called him. And
Did you finish the show?
Yeah, I watched everything now. Yeah.
How did you feel like about watching him like date someone else on the show?
That part was actually okay. Like I could tell Emma, I loved her story. She carried herself well too, and she seemed really down to earth and just like normal. I just feel like you guys had a very normal relationship, and the children edit was just something that is not talked about enough and makes sense like why they kind of honed in on that with you guys. Yeah, she seemed great, and her story was just something that you obviously don't hear every day, and must have been really hard for her. So it wasn't hard watching it.
Sure.
Yeah.
For me, I wanted to make sure, obviously, that
I think he was more worried.
I was more worried, because
Yeah.
you know, I think just with Tara, like, and it's a testament to her. Like, she is secure with who she is. You know, she's not insecure. She knows who she is. She knows what she can bring to the table. And I think watching everything unfold, she was okay. And she did well. Obviously, I'm sure you were nervous sometimes. And if there was ever any questions, she would just ask me, and I would go over it.
Like, is this what really happened?
Yeah. Were you ever like, I need an explanation?
I don't know, not specifically. But like at the same time, it was before me too. But it is weird, like seeing your current boyfriend on screen with someone else. I think it was weirder for him, but sitting next to me, because we did watch one episode.
Which one?
When they met for the first time.
There's a point where
when they like open, like reveal the reveal.
Yeah,
reveal.
exactly.
So we did the reveal, but there was a point that stuck out with me, which it was myself, Tara, and Donna, her sister, and we were at their house and we were watching, and it was in Cabo, and it was the hot tub.
Yeah,
part.
the hot tub scene.
So I'm sitting there. And she's to my right, and Donna's to my left, and we're watching me make out in a hot tub. And I look over to my left, and Donna's like recording her reaction with me, and I go, "Well, this is awkward."
Your reaction, I think, was better than like my. I was just watching, I'm like, all right, like get it on, go after it. But
did anything you saw on there? Did it make you question him at all?
Not that because again, like I just feel more like you said, your story wasn't told as much. You were more like a side character for a while there, like especially the pods. Not anything I can think off the top of my head. No.
Everything. So this goes back again, but I sound like I'm beating a dead horse here. But everything that's happened, she knew.
Yeah.
I told her everything.
Yeah.
There's no.
I think that's
surprises.
why I'm having a hard time like thinking of that stuff because he was so honest, like maybe even a little too much, which he's notorious for word vomiting. Me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you can tell. So I think that's why I wasn't surprised by anything.
Yeah.
So
Just sentiment of how you are as a person.
how he is, and how far he's come too. So.
Did you meet Emma?
Yeah, she's great. Yeah. He told her about me back in October, right? So and so she knew about me already, and then I think she had a feeling that I don't know if she knew I was going to be at the reunion.
No, she didn't. I don't think she fully knew. I mean, I didn't tell her.
Yeah,
there was no need to say that.
Right.
You know, you're there for me.
I think she had a feeling. We talked. She's amazing, very down to earth. Like, I'm not surprised you guys had a connection, to say the least. Yeah. I literally told her, I'm like, well, Mike has great taste. I mean, you're awesome. Yeah. I'm awesome. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But no, she was great. Very down to earth.
I know you guys got to know each other throughout the months of like talking, and so watching the show, did you understand him even more?
Yeah, I just feel like it came, like, the majority of people in my life were like, wow, he speaks so well, he carries himself so well, which I felt like translated the most. Because to me, that's why I still stuck with you. Not that that's the only reason, obviously.
She was like, wow, I thought you were going to put a baby in me right away.
Yeah. That's what she I'm like, listen here, like, I'm not ready to have a whole baseball team like you're claiming on television. That's probably the only thing I was like, wait a second, this is news to me.
And I'm assuming you do want children.
I do, yeah. We've talked about all of that. I do not have children.
So at least that part is on the table.
Yes.
Good. That was easy.
Yeah. Like, for me, I think he would definitely, like, he wants children. I told you from the start, like, I don't feel like my main purpose on this earth was to be a mom, but I would love children of my own. And so if it's meant to be, it's meant to be with the right person.
What's something about him that us people at home didn't see or wouldn't expect?
Like he said, I think like he is such a jokester. He's so sarcastic. You did not see that side. He seemed very serious the whole time. And I'm like, wow, like who is this person? Because with me, it's constant like, just like fun jokes and
Like
we're very
banter and
goofy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
When-
just feel like you did not see that.
Yeah, when it's time to get serious, I'll get serious.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just feel like, so in the pods, yes, there are serious conversations happening all the time, but you don't see any like really laughter, like
Yeah.
in depth, like joking around
Yeah.
and banter. And that's what, again, like I said, the banter is really good. They don't show that.
Okay, Netflix, release
Yes.
the rest of the unedited show.
Right.
What's your biggest ick of him?
Oh God.
Oh, I already,
he
I
have-
already know.
Does he have
Yeah, I already know. Go ahead. I
Does
already
he have
know.
any
You
red
know?
flags?
Okay. Ick/red flag. I think this is both for me. Is just like sometimes you already know what I'm going to say. I feel like the
Let's see.
coughing.
Yep.
Thing. Yeah. It's always been like we talked about on date number one. I can't stand, and maybe because I'm a healthcare professional, when people like open sneeze or like open cough. It
Like put your hand
It's
on
so
your
triggering,
face,
yes.
or, like, cover up. with
so
your
he's
shoulder,
gotten better with that. I think sometimes he'll still do that just to
That's
mess
not
with
too
me a little
bad.
bit.
I am like the
It's not bad.
gassiest man known to earth.
That is
Not
as well.
like just like burping.
Wait, I'm about
too.
to cough.
Wait.
I appreciate that.
Burping too.
Right.
I do always cover my cough.
Yes, me too.
She hates burping.
Burping.
And she's like, I don't know how I happen to find
Like,
the gassiest
The
man on
gassiest
earth.
man.
Yes.
Yes.
Send it to GI, girl.
I said that. I'm like, please, let's get you in with the right people.
Seriously.
Wait, we know a GI if you need one.
Please.
There you go. So you got all the connections.
Okay.
So what's your biggest difference as a couple?
Probably just our backgrounds, I feel like,
Yeah.
which is a huge, I feel like, honestly, a very common dynamic in couples now, relationships. Like, I'm Middle Eastern, not Italian like everyone else thinks.
What?
Yeah. Sorry, it was a good run. But yeah, my family is from Jordan. They are immigrants. They came over to the U.S. when they were 23, 24. Well, at least my dad first, and then my mom followed. But I'm first gen and bilingual. And I think that was, I mean, your family's been nothing but open-minded. And the way he described his family to me at first scared me, definitely.
And you met his family. correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I would assume also your Middle Eastern family would be a little reserved.
Luckily, actually, my parents are very open-minded and more westernized, which is
Okay.
great. Like that, I'm very, very happy and
Grateful.
grateful
That was my
for.
next question because
Yes.
there's a definite
Yeah.
difference in.
And I've dated like men in my culture, and then also like actually a lot of Italian Irish
Oh, you got a type.
men. Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
But,
But-
hey, they say Arabs and Italians
Yes,
Very similar.
are very
yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
My extended family, I don't know.
Not
They're
so
more
much.
opinionated.
And-
Yeah,
and
they're all
that's-
overseas.
And we were
too.
just talking about that too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when the time does come to get married,
Yeah.
as far as inviting and all that stuff, she doesn't know how it'll be
Yeah.
taken.
Yeah.
By them.
Yeah. So that's something that even like I've had several conversations with my family, and my parents are like, as long as you're happy and you just need to do what's best for you and just try to like cancel out all that background
Yeah,
noise, which is
yeah.
hard for me because I'm a people pleaser and I would love everyone to be like, love him as much as I love him.
You want
But
them, did they see the show? Your parents?
they when I got my 5 seconds on the reunion, then they started watching this show because
Did they have any
WhatsApp
opinions?
they just thought like the same things like you
Yeah.
guys are asking, like, is it real? Did he really have this connection? Did he
Yeah.
really propose? And was he
Yeah.
really engaged? Like all of it
Yeah.
is real. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting conversation to have with like my aunts and uncles. But no, they said that he's very handsome and same thing, carried himself really well.
Very
So overall good. I couldn't
love
be
that.
happier. Yeah.
Who's more stubborn?
Me.
Him. Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Who,
Italian. in you.
who
Yes.
apologizes first?
Oh, you
Probably me.
but who's the one doing the
wrong
wrongdoings here?
things,
Like,
right.
come on,
Me.
right?
Yeah.
Not,
wait.
not covering his coughs and stuff.
Who's messier? Because we know that Mike is a clean freak, tidy freak.
Yeah. Who's messier?
Wait, who fell in love first?
Oh, I
Who
don't.
said I love you first?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yes, you
I
did.
did.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
But I was like a little, like I had a few drinks and like was feeling emotional, and it probably wasn't
isn't
my
that
most
how it always
romantic
happens?
Yeah, it was not my most romantic moment, but
Who stalked who first? You stalked her.
I found him.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nope.
That's
Yeah.
right. I just thought, okay, he
No.
slid in her
But
DMs,
he did
and
make
like
the
stalking
first
her.
move. Yeah.
I made the
Who's
first
the
move.
jealous one?
Oh, probably me. I'm more territorial, which is what I was like
Yeah.
worried about more with the show. I'm like, how is this going to translate with like all the followers? And
Oh, yeah.
I just think being Arab, like
Yeah.
we're just, I don't know if you're like this, Nora,
Yeah.
but like I'm territorial.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
protective, like also. So
Did you go through his followers list after it started blowing up?
his follow, of course, well, first of all,
Yeah.
when you're dating someone, I
You're
just feel like you
always going
have
through-
to.
you
Yeah.
have
So,
Yeah.
Are girls still DMing?
of course, yeah. They're
A
asking if you're
couple.
single.
It's died
and-
down a lot. So again, like I made a
Yeah.
comment on one of another outlet that I did an
Yeah.
interview on, and I said like, oh, like, you know, she has access to my phone. Like, I didn't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah.
I'm just, and she trusts me fully.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
she should.
Yeah,
'cause-
absolutely.
But
It's the only way to.
but it is there. That avenue is there. Like, there's no secrets. You know what I mean? She
Like if I
knows
wanted
people are
to,
DMing.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
like, and he's shown me some crazy messages. All these women just like flooding his DMs saying that they'll have children with him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the comment. I mean, it's out on display. You can go to his Instagram and see it. So for me,
That's
that was
funny.
my more worrisome concern going into it before it all aired.
Yeah.
was the
And-
aftermath.
And for me, you know, again, reassurance.
Yeah.
Right. Reassurance is super important. Being communicative is super important. And I think just being honest. So hitting all of those for her to feel comfortable, because me, you know, it's selfish. It was selfish for me. Obviously, I want to be with her, but then to bring her into
Yeah.
this and open her up to that. You know, there's a whole freaking Reddit thread on her
Yeah.
of her nationality alone. It's like over 600 comments
have so
just of
much
people
knowledge.
saying,
People have-
I
yeah.
think she's this, I think she's that, oh, blah, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
we're
And I'm like,
clearing
people.
the
Yes,
rumors.
the
She's
rumors.
Middle Eastern guys from Jordan.
Not an ounce of Italian
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
listen, guys, the universe did its thing.
Yeah.
You know, everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
Everything brought you to be together. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Couldn't be happier.
I know,
Aw.
me too. I feel the
So
same.
happy for you guys.
Thank
and
you.
You guys, stop DMing Mike.
Stop it.
or we're
He's
going to come for you.
He is unavailable. Unavailable.
Well, I want to say thank you both. Thank you to both of you for coming today and sharing your journey and your journey.
Thank
with
you for
meeting
having
Mike.
me.
Of course. This was so much fun.
Thank you
It
guys
was.
Thank
so,
you.
so much. We had so much fun with you.
Yeah, and guys, if you want to check out the show, it's available on Netflix. It's season 10. It's the Ohio season. Make sure to check it out. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
All of the above. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Till next time.